In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all praises are due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you, my beloved brothers and sisters, in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the ancient tongue of Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, 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 dear beloved family, brothers, sisters, friends, and even to those haters out there. Welcome, welcome, welcome during this wonderful holy month of Ramadan. My name is Brother Leo Muhammad, and you are tuned in once again to another episode of the Image and Nation Show. Dear family, sitting alongside me is my beloved sister and dear friend and wife, Sister Claudia Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum family, Ramadan Mubarak to you all.
Ramadan Kareem.
May God's peace and blessings be upon you all, and we thank you for tuning in to another edition of Imagination.
Wow.
How are you all?
Yes.
Let us know how you are. If you was in the UK, did you enjoy that glorious sun today? Yeah. Wonderful weather.
Yeah, the weather has been really something special recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been lovely. How was the weather in Cardiff? Atiq Halim? Yes.
Yeah, the weather has been absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Dear family, considering the time of the year, welcome to episode 76 of the Imagination Show, and it is our concluding part of this wonderful holy month called Ramadan. And this is the holy month of Ramadan, part 5. So dear family, you know, we've just been having a little fireside chat over the last 4 weeks now on the subject of Ramadan, because our shows are very short during the holy month. They only last for 1 hour, and tonight will be the same reality, inshallah. We just want to touch base with you and talk a little bit about this wonderful time, and really encourage everybody to learn to take a little bit of time out of your busy schedule, you know, out of the kind of rat race that life has become, the running up and down, the busyness, you know, in terms of working and trying to make a living and trying to keep the wolves at bay when it comes to these bills and all the rest of the things that constitutes a modern life. And really try to do what some of the ancient prophets and the sages and those wonderful thinkers of history and antiquity did, which is to take time out. They would sometimes find themselves in a cave meditating, or they would go to the top of a mountain, or they would go into a forest and even the desert, but they would find some oasis, some place of peace and tranquility. You know, in this modern time, it's probably just going to be our bedroom, or it might be your living room when the rest of the family is asleep or out or something of that nature. But try to just take some time, dear brothers and sisters, for prayer, for meditation. You know, I heard a long time ago, somebody taught me that when we pray, that is when we are attempting to speak to God, to have a conversation with God, to tell God about how we're feeling and what it is that we think and feel about Him and His universe and this life. And when we meditate, that's when we're listening, being quiet and listening for the voice of God. And so, dear family, I would encourage all of us to, you know, take some time out, because I personally believe that the enemy has made an extremely noisy world, a noisy environment, to stop that communication. You know, again, I was reading, just again recently, reading is something that I've been acquainted with for quite some time, in truth, in relation to this idea, this notion of how important it is to take one's shoes off and stand on the earth, to stand on grass or to stand on soil, and to make that connection between the foot, you know, and the soil, you know, on the earth, and that, my wife said, the groundings, get that electrical connection between ourselves and the earth from which we come. It's very, very important, dear family. And unfortunately, again, in the modern era, quite often we don't do such things. We live in concrete jungles, and everything is sanitized, everything is separated, everything is disconnected, and we have to make an attempt to reconnect again, because the connection is very, very important. We are, as human beings, extremely powerful. We have power. It's not a power in and of itself that any of us can claim necessarily. It is the power of God. It is the power of the Creator. But we have the ability to connect and to be a part of that power source, that absolute creative source that is in the universe. But if we don't take the time to study ourselves and to study the planet and to study the universal order and how it works, then we may never ever realize the potential that we have to achieve this type of connection. Dear family, thank you to all of you for tuning in. Whether you are Muslim, whether you are a Christian, whether you are Hebrew, Rasta, Buddhist, it makes no difference to me. I'm talking to human beings today. I'm appealing to you that all of us, and especially those of us who claim a religion, claim a belief system, because sometimes those of us who claim such, we are the most complacent, and we can tend to be the ones who think that we've arrived somewhere because we are attached to a particular faith system, when in reality we could be completely detached, because we're not actually practicing, we're not actually delving deep beyond the surface of what it is that we claim to believe. And so I would encourage all of us, dear family, this is what this month has done for me. It's reinforced and re-energized my thought process around how important it is to take time to go inward, and to really get in tune. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, it just makes you think. I know that when I see water, like when you go on the beach, the sand, the water,
Beautiful.
Seeing greenery, the grass.
Beautiful.
That really inspires me.
It wasn't that long ago that we was on that
Yes,
beach.
exactly. But just to see green, I just love grass, and it makes you feel like you're supposed to be part of nature.
Yes.
And the way we live, how often do we just go and sit in greenery,
No,
see the flowers? And I love hearing the birds.
Yes.
To get back in tune, we have to get back in tune.
Yes.
Because all this, it's we have to develop our spiritual self, because this world teaches us to have, everything is material.
Yes, but everything is physical.
That's right,
yes.
The physical, but we don't develop the spiritual, which is the true essence of life.
Yes.
Your spirit.
It's the unseen reality.
Right, the unseen reality. And
just think about that. How powerful that is.
That's right. And
Yes.
but you can feel it. When somebody walks into the room, you can feel that spirit, whether it's a good spirit.
The energy.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right.
Yes. So just a question on that. How many of you, and you've had this experience. You've met somebody's walked into a room, or you've met somebody, and man, your spirit just don't take to that person. There's an energy, there's a vibe. That's real.
That's right.
That's real. And then you meet another person, and it's like wow.
Yes.
You just feel you. In fact, they're magnetic.
That's
You're
right.
drawn. You want to
That's
be around such a person.
Yes, I know. In the past, when the children have brought friends home, I say, no, I don't like that person. There's something about them.
Yeah,
or
but maybe you're just
no.
prejudiced.
No.
You're prejudging.
No. You can feel that person's energy. And I say, no, I'm not too sure about that person. Or if there's some that they've brought home, and there's nothing behind them. They're absolutely like a blank. They're just blank.
I read in the Holy Quran just last night where it described people as being like logs of wood.
Yes, but that's
they're clad. They got clothing.
Yes,
but
yeah,
it's
they're
like
there.
a log of wood clad in
and there's
clothing.
nothing. You can't feel anything behind them. But it is that doing this Ramadan this time, I actually feel like it's a new year for me.
Praise be
I
to
feel
Allah.
like I've got an opportunity to make a change.
New start.
Yeah, a new start. I need to study more. I need to really be on how to eat to live. I need to be made over again. I'm tired of myself. So I need to tap in and bring out the God
Praise be
within.
to Allah.
Yeah, that's I feel so chilled reading that Holy Quran.
Good.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
And you know, while the enemy is planning his reset, why are we not resetting ourselves, man?
No, you have to.
You see, don't let the enemy plan some reset, dear
That's right.
family, that's gonna set us up for death.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, we have the power to reset ourselves,
That's
to
right.
to reconstitute ourselves, to begin again, to begin anew. You see, I love these times of the year, whether it's the so-called New Year or whether it's Ramadan. All of these, they all represent potentially new beginnings.
Yes, yes.
They give us an opportunity to start something new. And I've got to appeal to all of us, because some of us, we get a little bit, we got this bad attitude that I'm too long in the tooth.
Oh no.
You know,
No.
I'm old now because we're 40
No,
years old,
no.
or we're 50, or we're 60, or whatever the case may be. Dear family, you're a baby.
Yes. You know, I always say, I will always be, on a good day, I'm 19.
Praise be to Allah.
And a not so good day, I'm 25.
Well,
And that's what I'll always be.
well, we're gonna look at this book a little bit this evening, Message to the Black Man, and I know that in this book and in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, especially when it comes to how to eat to live, the messenger says that we can be like we're 16.
That's right.
Never mind 19.
That's right.
You be old then, beloved.
Yeah.
16. If we would only employ that system of eating, that system of fasting, that system of how to really take care of ourselves, we could literally be like a 16-year-old, basically throughout our life.
That's right.
We don't have to age and become decrepit and broken down. We really don't, dear family.
No.
This
It's
is
a mindset.
Yeah, we become used to the idea of, that type of atrophy and that type of, breakdown
Yes,
of our
yes.
systems or whatever,
Yes.
because of the kind of world that we live in. But there is an alternative. There is a different way
That's
that
right.
one can live.
That's right. Sister Heather says 16 sounds good to me.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
I just don't do 16 because some of our children are 16, so I just add a few more years.
Bit young.
Yes.
Add a couple of years.
Well, I just
onto it.
say we're sisters.
Yeah, praise God. Look, family, literally, I think I'm still a little bit behind. I'm on part 29 now. I think my wife is
On part 30.
30, so you've got one part to read.
Yes.
And this is the book, this is the Holy Quran, literally, dear family. So that means that, in the last few weeks, I've read now 1,078 pages.
praise
Okay, that's
be to Allah.
1,078 pages. And the way in which the book is constructed, it makes it very, very easy
Yes.
to read in 30 parts.
Yes, it makes it easy to read, but I'll just be honest, I don't always understand everything that I'm reading.
No, I don't understand. No, I
yes.
don't understand. There's lots of allegories and
Yes.
similitudes and parables,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's not
It's not
like
easy.
it's not a comic book.
No.
It's designed to force the reader to dig deep,
Yes, you
to
have to.
think,
Yes.
and to contemplate, and then to study into what we've read, to look at the words
Yes.
that we've just read that. We
That's
may not
right.
understand what
Yes.
a paramour is.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at that word and look it up and then go deeper into it to understand what the scripture is trying to impart to us, dear family.
That's right. Well, during this month of Ramadan, I have actually taken myself back to my school days, because I said, girl, you're just not looking up no words. I'm not looking up no words to see what they mean. But this time round, I am looking at all the words that I'm not too sure about. To have an understanding, and it just makes a difference. Once you understand, one word can change all that you're
Absolutely.
reading, the understanding of it.
Absolutely.
I feel a tad bit more intelligent because I'm looking at words now.
Absolutely.
Whereas before, when I was at school, I just was not interested. I was just thinking, get me out of here.
Yes. And what we learned when we went to study in the Church of Scientology, and these people are very intelligent people. They understand something about words. And one of the things that we learned when we went to learn Dianetic auditing was that whenever we're reading something and we skip a word or we read past a word that we didn't fully understand,
Yes.
that's when the whatever you're reading can become obscure to you. It can become strange. It can become boring. You can start yawning and getting because you went past a misunderstood
That's right.
word.
That's right.
And what we're encouraged to do is never to do that. Whenever you come across a word that you don't understand, look it up. It makes your reading maybe a little bit more pedantic,
Yes.
where you have to be stopping and checking things
Yes.
out. But it's
Yes.
necessary. Imagine you're on a journey somewhere and you're trying to find somewhere,
Yes.
but you can't be bothered to read the names of the
Yes,
roads or
yes.
the signs that you're passing.
Yes.
Wouldn't make any sense, would it? You'd never find where you're going. So
because when I used to read the Holy Quran, during Ramadan, it would take me like half an hour to read a part. But now, because I'm looking at the words, it takes over an hour.
a lot longer.
Oh
exactly.
yes, a lot longer. But then I feel comfortable with
Yes.
what I've read, and
Because it's not a race, is it?
no,
it's not a
you
rush.
take your time,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Take your time.
Praise be to Allah. So, dear family, for those of you who have a copy of Message to the Black Man, a
Fantastic.
most powerful
Absolutely.
book. And I know I broke this down before, but I'm going to say it again. Imagine there's a book entitled Message to the Black Man, and you're a black man. And by the way, when it says Message to the Black Man, it's not about any sexism.
No.
It is message to the black man, woman, and child. It is a message to all of us, okay, who are of that hue, who are original people, who are native to this planet Earth. It is a message to all of us. The only difference between a man and a woman is a woman is a man with a womb. Okay, we're one and the same. We are counterparts of one another. We are a couple. We are meant to be together. Man, when you say man, you're talking about woman. When you say woman, you're talking about man. We are linked in that way, dear family. But imagine there's a message to the black man, and a black man or a black woman would refuse to pick up such a book. Do you think if there was a message to the Chinese, that the Chinese would be running
That
past
would be
that?
standard curriculum in the schools.
I suggest to you that every race, every nation, if they had something specific for them, they would pick it up and they would want to know what it contains, because what it contains is absolutely phenomenal and awesome.
It's life-changing.
It is life-changing, dear family. This is not a lightweight book. And what I wanted us to focus this week. Go ahead, sister.
But in saying that, it's not a book that's hard to understand. Is
No,
it?
no. And again, I don't know, but I think if you study this life, you find that lots of people are asking the question, include the scientists and they're asking the question, what's it all about?
Yes.
What's this life all about?
Yes.
And then what happens is that a lot of people are under the impression that it's just so complicated
Yes.
life that it's almost a waste of time asking that question, because no one can fathom it.
Yes,
Nobody
yes.
could ever know. Nothing could be further from the truth, dear family. Did you know that Almighty God Allah is not the author of confusion?
That's right.
And that He makes things so plain and so simple that literally a child could understand it?
That's right.
But where you get the complication, how did the enemy say in their poem? He said, "Oh, what a complex web we weave when we practice to deceive." Let me say that again. Oh, what a complex web we weave when we practice to deceive. See, when you get into all of this complexity and it's just beyond you, oh man, I'm telling you, man. What does the enemy say? He says the devil is in the details. Listen to his language. No, there's no devil in the details. The details, we just need to understand, dear family. It's quite simple. It's not that difficult. And, with Message to the Black Man, God has really made it very, very easy for us.
That's right.
And those of you who have it, if you go to page 135, that page is entitled Prayer Service, Prayer in Islam. And I just wanted to just touch on a few, aspects around prayer this evening with your indulgence, because I think it's one of those things, and I'm guilty of it myself as somebody who doesn't pray in the manner which I should all the time. So I'm not throwing off on you, you need to pray. No, it's not like that. But we shouldn't, I don't like to do things just for the sake of doing them because other people do them.
No, you can't.
I like to do something because I understand why I'm doing it, and there has to be a good reason for doing it. And so I would encourage you, dear family, to study and to look into the power and the purpose of prayer,
Yes.
and how it works.
Can I just say, because somebody asked, where can they get Message to the Black Man? If you're in the States, you can get it from finalcall.com.
Finalcall.com.
If you're over here, you can get it from London Study Group 19.org. And yes, you can get it on Amazon also. And if
Go to London Study Group 19.org, dear family, and try and get it from there first and foremost, because I think it's very expensive on
$15.99
on Amazon.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
How much do we charge for it?
That, not sure.
Okay.
Or you can download it on your phone from the App Store.
And I think even now, I think there is even a copy of it, audio copy of Message to the Black Man that you can find on YouTube.
Okay, hold on.
Where somebody reads it for you.
Really?
So because I know some of us don't like to read, so even
Well,
to initially listen to it.
The brother student minister Nuri Muhammad broke that down the other day about when you listen to when you read. There's a big difference.
Of course there's a big difference. But I'm trying to say to those who are being introduced to this concept of reading, if you want, I'm saying that there are also alternatives.
Yes.
But there is no substitute.
No.
For the written word. That's
right.
And reading it for yourself.
You have to read it for yourself.
Yes.
Because when you're listening, I know my mind is going somewhere else. I'll get distracted. I have to sit down and listen. So if you want the book on the bookstore, from the bookstore on your phone or your iPad, it's £10.
£10?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. See, that's a lot cheaper than Amazon. So, dear family, on page 135 it says, under the heading Prayer Service, Prayer in Islam, there's a quote taken directly from the Holy Quran, chapter 29, verse 45, and it says, "Surely prayer keeps one away from indecency and evil, and certainly the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. And Allah knows what you do. Just think about that, dear family. It is absolutely wonderful what prayer is designed to do for us. Because, you know, we I think it was just the other day I was looking on YouTube and came across some fashion show where they were modeling swimsuits, and I was trying to call my wife to come and look. She wouldn't come.
I'm glad I didn't.
And when I told her, she said no, she's glad that she didn't see it. Because, I mean, honestly, I'm talking about this prayer keeping us away from indecency and evil. Because you see, dear family, we're taught again through the Holy Quran, through the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that Satan, the devil, makes evil fair seeming. You would be surprised just how many things that we see and hear on a daily basis that we now essentially take for granted, that are really evil manifestations of a satanic mind, but we don't even bat an eyelid when it comes to these things because we become so immersed in it, used to it.
Yes.
Just the other day, there was a TV show that some members of the family were watching, and depicted in that was a white man who had a gay black partner. And, you know, I'm watching members of my family laughing, and, you know, they're enjoying this show, and I'm thinking, and they seem to really know the show, and I'm saying, once we can become so familiarized with such things where we no longer can see the evil connotations of it and how corrupting it is, then it means that our minds, our thinking has been captured by Satan. Because by no stretch of the imagination can we imagine that God is pleased with such behavior, such depiction, such images, such ideas, dear family. And so, you know, I'm saying it's really, really important that we appreciate. I know I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I'll mention it again because I know the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan has touched on this as well. How the comedians, like the lower down they go, the more filthy the language, the more we scream and laugh, and it's just so wonderful. We think it's wonderful. And now, whether you appreciate it or not, a lot of people associate black people with profane and low down and filthy language.
Yes.
That's a part of our vocabulary. It's part of how we're seeing. And those of you brothers, and I don't know about the sisters, but I know brothers who are currently tuned in to this. Think about all those times when you've met some white guy who is a driver, or he's the dustman, or he's some office worker who you happen to bump into, and a conversation strikes up, and immediately he'll just be cursing and talking to you like you and him are on the same level with that type of language. It's happened to me so many times, and I've had to say to people, hold on, man, why I don't use that language. But they assume that because you're black, you're going to be down. Listen to even the way we talk. Yeah, I'm down with that. No, I'm not down with that, man. I'm up with a higher level of expression. But you'd be surprised how we've allowed ourselves to be stereotyped into this type of expectation of low downness, if that's a term.
But that's the point. We don't realise obviously we feed on physical food, but the spiritual, what you watch, what you ingest in your mind has an effect. And people don't think, oh, I can watch anything. No, you can't watch anything.
Yeah.
It has an effect on your mind.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Especially if you are feeding on it.
Yeah.
See, because again, I was watching one of these a highlight from some concert one time. I think it featured Beyonce, and there were some other artists that performed. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw little excerpts. But what I noticed, the thing that I noticed, I wasn't really looking at the artist. I was looking at the audience, and they were singing along with every single word. They knew every word.
Yes.
See, because that's what we do. The songs, we know the lyrics. But think about some of these lyrics that we're repeating.
Yeah, one of Beyonce's, I couldn't believe the lyrics.
Think about the lyrics, and then see, a mantra. It's when you repeat something over and over again to the point where it becomes part of your indelible memory. That's you.
Yes.
I'm trained. I'm a trained actor. And in order to learn scripts, one would have to repeat the script over and over and over again.
Yes.
And at a certain point, bang, it clicks in.
Yeah.
And then
you become that.
And you become the character.
That's
You
right.
can then play that role, jam up. And that's why people are fascinated by it when they go to watch a play or they watch a good film, and the actor is, the actor can convince you, even though you know that's Denzel Washington.
That's right.
8 minutes and 20 seconds into the movie, he's no longer Denzel. He is the character that he's playing because he's become that person, dear family. You know, when I used to play Mr. Fraser on the BBC at the Real McCoy, I was crazy. I would literally, during lunch break, sometimes we'd be filming or whatever, I wouldn't take the costume off. I would go out into the street, in West London, in Shepherd's Bush, and walk around, and people would be like looking at this crazy looking man, Mr. Fraser, but I was completely comfortable because it wasn't me.
Yes.
I was Fraser, believe me. And people would try and talk to me like they were trying to talk to Brother Leo or Leo. Yes. No, I'm not responding as Leo. I'm responding as Fraser because that's who I had become at that moment in time. What Sister Claudia said is so deep, man. It's so deep because things are influencing us and we have no idea. That's when we learn these lyrics, when we're watching these things over and over again.
Even adverts. That's what adverts are supposed to do.
Yeah, that's why it's called. That's why they called it adverts. Is one of the things they call jingles, and it's the jingle bells, jingle bells. It's the devil's tune, so to speak. But yeah, it's it's adding to you. It's not something benign. It's something that's quite powerful in its effect. And people will go out and buy things,
of course, and
they don't realize that it was an advert that they saw, a poster or something in the radio they heard or something on the TV. This is heavy stuff, dear family.
Very heavy.
When you go over to page 136, Message to the Black Man, and by the way, there's so much here that I could touch on. Believe me, again, I'm just going to be just the tip of the iceberg this evening. I'm not going to go too deep. I'm just touching a few little bits. Okay, at the bottom of page 136, under the heading Significance of Prayer, the significance of prayer, it says, again, coming from the Holy Quran, which is the book of scripture of the Muslims, chapter 33, verses 41 to 43. Holy Quran, chapter 33, verses 41 to 43. It says, O you who believe. This is talking about the significance of prayer. O you who believe, remember Allah, remembering Him frequently, and glorifying Him morning and evening. He it is who sends His blessings on you, and so do His angels, that He may bring you forth out of utter darkness into the light, and He is merciful to the believers. Prayer is better than sleep. Where were we in the early hours of this morning, Sister Claudia?
Doing prayer.
I mean, we prayed all night.
Yes.
Last night was, in Islamic tradition, last night is called the Night of Majesty, the Night of Power.
Yes.
It's a very, very special night on the Islamic calendar during the holy month of Ramadan. And essentially what happens is that from Maghrib prayer, which is the early evening prayer,
and when you break the fast,
right up to the point of Isha, basically you're praying.
Yes.
And I mean, for us, because we were following the time from Chicago,
yes,
it meant that myself and Sister Claudia, we were praying from around 1 o'clock.
Isha, but we did Isha.
We did
our
Isha.
Yes.
We did our Isha before midnight.
Yes.
And then we were praying from around 1 o'clock in the
a.m.
morning till about 4? After 4 in the morning?
No, it was about 4:30.
About 4:30 this morning. And it was beautiful, man.
I was tired.
I know, of course. It's tiring.
But you want to do it.
Imagine you do that once a year. Just one night.
Just one night.
Is that really too much to give to God, who has given us so much? See, this is how you got to contextualize these things, because how many of us have spent the whole night raving in the past?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Whole night and morning.
Whole night, beloved.
And come back in the afternoon.
Come on. Really? I was never that bad, you know. You were that bad?
Yes, myself and my sister.
You never told me that when
We'd come back at 2 o'clock in the
You never told
afternoon.
me that when we
you
were
knew
courting.
that, really. What difference would it make?
No, I would have had to reconsider.
Really?
Reconsider what I was getting myself into, beloved.
Yes, two
all night, and then coming back home in the afternoon.
We'd come back when EastEnders was on Sunday.
No, beloved, I've never done that. I would
Really?
I would be. It would be. You know, we would finish around 10 in the morning at the latest.
No, we'd come back when EastEnders was.
Really?
And one of the sisters would be with her mum would be waiting at the front door with a saucepan in her hand.
Not for cooking.
No, for beating.
Strictly for beating. Wow. Heather is laughing.
Yeah, but do you think you'd let your children do that now? No way.
No, but you say that, but you know, the vast majority of families now, beloved, they don't even know where their children are.
No, true.
They don't know where their children are. I'm talking about young children as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it was one thing, the kind of brutality that some of us faced when we were younger with our parents and the kind of beatings we would get, whatever. But nowadays, there is a kind of detachment between the parents and the children. I see children out and about, and I'm wondering, do they have parents? Because it doesn't make no sense what I see them doing.
But saying that though, since our daughter's been at college, quite a few of the young people, they don't actually live with their parents because they've come from abusive homes.
Yeah, but it was shocking. I mean, remember the one that you brought her coat and everything? Because there was a young girl who goes to the college of where our daughter goes.
And she didn't have a coat on.
In the freezing cold in the winter.
It was when it was snow. And I said, where's your coat? Yeah, I said, does your mum know you've left the house without a coat? And she said, I haven't got a coat. And I felt so bad because I thought I shouldn't judge people, so that when you do see young people, you just don't know what's happening with them. You know, you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, so my wife purchased a beautiful coat for the young girl, and she was so happy.
She was.
Did she call you? She calls
me mum. I've got quite a few children.
I know you got
Asian, black, white.
She befriends all these children that she sees out on the street. There's some boys. I mean, these are all teenagers, and they're all crazy looking boys, like smoking and going on with all kinds of madness. My wife finds herself in the middle of them, talking to them, telling them how great they are, how talented they are, how much potential they have. It's beautiful.
Because they're my children. I see that. I would want somebody, if our children, who knows if they're going off the rails, but I would like somebody to approach them.
Approach them like that, And unfortunately now, with a lot of the adults. It's like they're terrified of the
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah, well, brother
Scared.
Victor said children are quietly beating their parents.
Quietly
As-
beating their
As
parents.
quiet as it is kept.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of fear. I know
Yes,
that there's
yes.
a lot of fear between adults and children now.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
very sad.
Yeah, brother Victor, yes, I know a lot of children wear slides in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing sliders, those
Yeah, sliders. Yeah.
slippers.
I saw a brother, he was carrying shopping and it was pouring
pouring with rain.
And he
he's-
had the sliders on and he could barely walk.
No, but it's crazy. I mean, you look at the way they got the people, the young people dressing.
I
now,
know.
and they think that.
And that was our
it's a
slippers when
style.
we were growing
Of course
up.
it
That
was.
was
We
slippers,
would
not
never dream of
sliders.
going on the
No, we
street
didn't. No.
dressed like that with
No.
socks and
Yeah,
slippers.
they got it with socks.
And
as
then they're
well.
wearing some of them out in their pajamas and their
Oh,
dressing
yes,
gowns on the
yes,
street
yeah.
and whatever. I mean, it's
It's just a world upside down.
It's a dumbing down process,
Absolutely.
which is quite horrible. It's quite horrible, dear family, brothers and sisters. So on page 141 of Message to the Black Man, there's a heading that says "Time of Prayer and its Meaning," and there's a note that says the morning prayer is of two parts. The first part called fard in Arabic, and the other part called tradition, and it is made obligatory. The morning prayer being obligatory is called fard, meaning the early morning. Okay, that's the Fajr prayer that we do first thing in the morning. And for Muslims, it's obligatory that we get up and pray in the morning, dear family. You know, the 5 prayers throughout the day, these are obligatory. And you know how much we miss these prayers. But really, if we were truly devoted, because God wants to show us our way of devotion, if we were truly devoted to Allah, to God, remember that we're always asking and begging God for this, that, and the other. We want His mercy. We want His beneficence.
Yes,
we
yes.
want His graciousness. We want His reward. We want Him to give us abundance.
That's
we want
right.
all of these things. But what are we prepared to do
That's right.
in order to get these things? Just 5 prayers. I think last week I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, I always say
How
that.
much time it takes
Yes,
to
I
do the
said,
5 prayers.
You know, just imagine.
out
just
of a 24-hour day.
10 minutes each prayer.
Wow.
That's 50 minutes, not even an hour out of 24 hours.
Wow.
And we can't be bothered to stop.
To
and
give back.
Yeah, of the Creator.
Come on, man. It's beautiful.
And that's why we have to put God first.
Yes.
You have to put God first in your life. He's the one who's given us life. And little is it that we give thanks.
Yes. Yeah.
How could you deny the one who created you? Wow, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah, but you see again, because people have been so dumbed down into thinking that we're self-created,
That's
into
right.
thinking that, well, there is no creator,
That's
there
right.
is no God.
I wish it-
I saw a red bus, a London bus. God is dead.
Oh God.
I mean, a huge, and I'm thinking, what are these people? What kind of messages are they sending?
Because they like to say, oh well, if there was a God, people wouldn't be sick, people wouldn't die. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that all the time.
All
well,
the time.
if there was a good God, why would He let all these things happen?
Why would children have cancer? Why would this?
Yeah,
Yes.
why is He giving us free choice?
Mm.
You see? And do we understand that it's our own choices that are causing a world like this that we live in? And that He's given us the ability to choose, and He doesn't necessarily interfere.
He's so merciful.
He's got an active and a permissive will. He can actively intervene if He
That's
so
right.
chooses, or He just permits us.
Yes.
There's a saying, give them enough rope.
Yeah, hang himself.
So, you just got to understand the way God works, dear family. It's not this thing where, like I remember with our brother, our beautiful brother, I was blessed to meet him, Biggie Smalls.
Oh, you met him?
When he came over
Really?
here one time, we were looking after him. We was doing security for him. He was at the Hammersmith. I don't think it was the Hammersmith Palais, Hammersmith Odeon or something. He was performing there anyway. And he seemed very shy because it was in the middle of the night and he was
Yes.
wearing dark glasses. Like he wanted to hide behind these glasses. But I never forget, you know, with Biggie, it's just, you know, his album Ready to Die, and it was all about death and destruction and killing, and he's ready to die and whatever. And there's no mention of God. There's no consideration that there is a God. But then no sooner does our brother get killed, murdered, everybody's talking God.
About
and now
God.
Sean Puffett Coombs is singing about, oh, they're going to be opening the pearly gates for them and he's whatever. See, so this is the contradiction and the hypocrisy that we have to get rid of.
Yeah.
Especially in the black community, because our nature is God.
That's right.
And we know that we have an obligation to God. And I'm not talking about no like little religious kind of thing, oh, this is the religion, it's obligation. No, we know as black people, by nature, we know that we have an obligation to God. Right. Believe me, we know. See, that's why whenever we get in trouble, the first person we're running and turning to is God.
Yes. Yes.
But while, you know, we're just living our lives and whatever, God has to take a back seat kind of thing. But we always expect, well, he should jump in and save us when we're in trouble. No, it don't work like that, dear family. It doesn't work like that.
Just very quickly, quick question. I don't want to divert from your messages, but could you please tell us briefly about Wallace Fard Muhammad?
Wallace Fard Muhammad is Master Fard Muhammad. He's the man who came to North America from the holy city of Mecca, where he was born in 1877. And he's the man who came and began teaching what really was a strange religion, a strange way of life to black people who were in a place called Black Bottom in Detroit, Michigan.
The lowest of the low.
And black people were in terrible, terrible trouble. But he began teaching this word. And at a certain point in time around, he started that in 1930, in 1931, was when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, whose name at that time was Elijah Poole, heard from his wife, who had gone to one of these meetings where this strange man.
Okay, what did he look like?
He was a very light-skinned black man. He looked more white than black, if we're honest. But that's because he came from a jet black father in the Arabian Peninsula and a Caucasian white mother from the Caucasus Mountains, around the kind of Iran type of area, because the Iranians, they're not Arabs, they are Caucasians. That's another story. But essentially, he was a mixture. And then you need to understand why the scripture says that when God comes, he comes in sinful flesh to condemn sin in the flesh. He comes in disguise. He comes looking like the enemy, but he's not the enemy. He's actually our God. He's actually one of us. But he had to come like that. In those days, if a jet black man would start to try and teach black people anything,
no, we wouldn't listen.
Well, not only would we not listen because of our own color prejudice, because of self-hatred, we like to listen to light-skinned or white-skinned people. But equally, when a jet black man would try and preach to us, the government would immediately be on top of that man with like what they did to Marcus Messiah Garvey, to destroy that individual and not allow that person to message to permeate or to penetrate the hearts and minds of the people. Which is why at a certain point J. Edgar Hoover said they must stop the rise of a black messiah who could electrify and unify the black masses. So essentially that's who Wallace Fard Muhammad is, because he was then in that form when he came to teach us, and ultimately he taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He gave him the name, first he gave him a name, Kareem, and then ultimately he called him Muhammad. And so Elijah Poole became Elijah Muhammad under the tutelage and the teaching of Master Farad Muhammad for 3 years and 4 months. And then he went away. As mysteriously as he came, he left. And this is where you now have the Nation of Islam and the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, etc., etc. That's in a nutshell who he is. We believe him to be the great Mahdi. We believe him to be the man that the whole world has been looking for to come. He comes like a thief in the night. Okay? And this is the one that we believe in the scripture is talked about. And in essence, that's who he is.
There was a comment, of course, a white womb has more value even back then.
A what?
A white womb. Womb. I mean, with Master Fard Muhammad's mother being
no,
I
so
would just explain.
Yeah, that. I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't agree that a white womb has more value, because in truth there is no such thing. Remember, the womb is literally triple darkness. It's a black place. Whether the woman is white or black, okay, the womb is a very, very black place. There is no light in there. But in terms of why he had to use a white woman from the Caucasus, it was to produce a child with a particular complexion.
Yes.
That was the purpose. Time. That was a stealth. Yes. That was a way to get that child to be able to do a work undetected. And believe me, it didn't take long before the authorities detected him, because he was literally arrested and hounded from one city to another whilst he was in America trying to raise the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I think in his first year, he went knocking door to door and talking to black people, and he raised 25,000 people by himself.
He said just he was their brother from the east.
Just going door to door,
selling silk.
And he was selling silk, which was again something very unusual for black people in those days. And he would say to them, "This is from your brothers in the east." And then the black people would be shocked, you know, because we didn't know that we had any brothers in the east. And so he began to teach us this esoteric, beautiful message, this secret, really, because it was revelation. Nobody knew about such things. And this is from where the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has flourished.
And well, just to say also that we are warned by the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, don't even go down that road where you think you can have a white woman or a white man. He said that purpose has been served.
Yeah, that purpose has been served, brothers. So forget it, okay? Stop looking at her. Take another look at your beautiful black sister, all right? Because this is what we need to be doing today. We need to rebuild the black family.
That's right.
We need black men and women to fall in love with one another. And let's build a family. Let's build community. Let's build nations, man. Let's get together, because we are powerful together. Powerful together. Our unity is what's our disunity, should I say, is what's hurting us today. The fact that we can't show a solid wall of unity wherever we are is what hurts us.
Yes.
And so stop, you know, because I notice now it's like we want every other woman except our own black sister.
Because that's how we've been taught.
Because we've been brainwashed.
That's right.
Into thinking that the grass is greener somewhere else. No.
And why that white woman is trying to be black.
Oh yeah, now she's shaping herself up and everything. You remember the days when she was just like an ironing board?
Exactly.
No longer. She's all shapely now. She's in the gym, sisters.
Working out, tanning her skin, curling her hair.
Whether she does it via the sun or some paint, it don't make no difference.
Pills.
She's using everything.
That's
I know
right.
in the laboratories they're trying to create a synthetic melanin.
Yeah, but they
can take in tablets.
Yeah, they have that already. Then gradually your skin gets darker.
And they're using ingredients from frogs and other like beetles and creatures that can change their color and they can go dark, and they're using these types of things and they're swallowing these things to try to change their complexion.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
And here we are, many of us, running away from this beautiful black complexion.
That's right.
These beautiful black eyes. We're getting all these contact lenses, trying to make ourselves look different to how God created us, not realizing how precious and how beautiful we are.
Yes, and just a quick point, sister also says, so why all the Negro males choose white/light women, their prized possessions, their holy grail, even the Moors thought like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all. I think some are like that. But, we were recently in Africa, and there's millions of black couples.
Oh, yeah.
Their families.
And this world will never promote that because they don't want that.
Exactly. There's a lot of absolutely beautiful black couples, black people, and it just needs to be encouraged, and we just need to know who we are.
That's right.
There's always going to be what you might call personal preferences. Some men will gravitate towards small, petite women. Some men, I know in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, there's this thing about they want the woman to be big. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but that's how some people like a complexion, maybe a light complexion. I think that's all very surface. It should be more about, and this is why back in the day when we had proper courtships, I mean, maybe in the future we'll talk a bit more about relationships because it's a very, very important subject. But when we used to have proper courtships and we would get to know one another, get to know the mind of each other and so on and so forth, whereas so much of the relationships now is based on a fancy, it's based on what we see, it's based on the form of the person, the body, the shape. Oh, he's so cute, or she's so, she's hot, but it's not, there's no real substance to a relationship like that, because all of that, believe it or not, wears off after a while. All of that, I think the minister described it as gravity will take its effect on everything in time. So we just need to, I think we just need to get a bit deeper when it comes to how we form relationships.
Well, I think we have to appreciate that is the mission of this world, is to keep the black man and woman separate.
Absolutely.
Because that's where the real power is, and it's all by design.
Of course.
And sadly, a lot of us have fallen for that, to integrate with other races, but that's not what it's supposed to be. And they know that to have a black man and a black woman who know themselves, imagine what kind of children they'll produce. Absolutely. It's all over for them, and that is not in our nature really to be going to other races, but it's the way we've been trained, it's the way we've been fed. We feed on the TV. When we make it big, we want to have the white woman or the white man. So it's all by design. That is not us by nature, though.
Yes, you're absolutely right, beloved. And that's the reality. That's how we've been orientated in this world, but we have to change it up.
Yes.
We have to change it up.
Oh, absolutely. And we have 1 minute.
Yeah.
I'll give you 1 minute to...
Okay. And then I need you to, if brothers and sisters, let us know where you are. Where are you? Where are you in the world? I want to hear. Because we almost nearly never got back onto YouTube again this evening. I don't know what's going on. Sister Claudia managed to work some magic with her computer, which is why we are on YouTube, but my computer wasn't allowing me to be able to go live, so I'm not sure what happened.
So we got family from Wales, Camberwell, Pinner.
Camberwell. Okay.
What that? Mojave Desert. Where's that?
Wow.
Where is that?
Yeah, that's
Did
part
I pronounce
of Africa.
it? Did I pronounce it well? I pronounce
not
it.
really.
Say it. Mojave.
Mojave Desert. Yes.
Do you know how to pronounce it?
Not really. Not properly.
Oh, in the USA.
Oh, wow. Really?
That's interesting. I've never heard of it.
What part of the USA? What part of the USA is that?
J has a H sound. So
Mojave.
Mojave.
There's, I think sometimes they say Mojave.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
See, I've
Mojave
learned
Desert.
something today. It's always good to learn.
Yeah, we're learning all the time, beloved. We're learning
San
Bernardo. Yes. Yeah.
Bernardino.
Yeah. San Bernardino.
County, California.
Yeah.
Oh,
California.
wow.
Cali.
Wonderful.
Cali. Wonderful.
Thank you all for your support.
Thank you, dear family. I just wanted to leave you.
Okay, while you're looking for that,
Yeah.
don't forget, tune in to Final Call Radio. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can get so much information. You know, we're not saying to you to join the Nation of Islam, but you can learn so much from the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So much. So tune in to Final Call Radio, 7 days a week. Okay, sorry, that's someone from Forest Gate.
Oh, wow.
Is there a link to, is that for the Final Call Radio? You can download it on your phone. There's an app. Oh, last week's show. Could you post last week's show?
Yes,
please?
we will. And from next week, dear
West
family,
London.
we're going to go back to our normal time next week. And next week, we will have a momentous announcement to make about something that's coming up as well. And yes, there is something that's going to be happening next month that we want to be telling you about, as far as the members of the Nation of Islam, those of you who are members and maybe you're not around anymore. We want to encourage you, so look out for that for next week. I'm going to mention something to you next week, dear family.
Yes, and thank you for the West London massive, Ealing massive, Norfolk massive, London massive. Thank you. Okay, you've got.
And so, dear
phone.
family, I just wanted to, in Message to the Black Man on page 140 to 141, there's a prayer that is really dedicated to the Most Honourable Elijah Muhammad. It's a very powerful prayer. It's a tough prayer, and I wanted to close with that prayer this evening, just to show you that when we pray, it's really appealing to the power, the majesty, of God to help us and to guide us and to make us successful as a people.
Just before you say that, let me just say, because my phone switched off. Thank you, family. DC Precise in Arlington, and Kwame in Augusta,
Georgia.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Augusta, Georgia.
And Montreal, Quebec.
Canada.
Yes.
Wow.
Wonderful. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you, family. Thank
I'll
you.
let you go ahead.
Very much appreciate you letting us know where you are tuned in from. This prayer goes like this. Thanks to Allah, our God, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who was to come and has come to restore we who were lost from our own, the kingdom of Islam, and to destroy those who have destroyed us. Thou art our God, O Allah, and we are thy people. Deliver us from our murderers, and we will serve and obey thee all the days of our lives. And we will teach our children thy praises, and to submit to thee for thine unequal love and mercy for us. And thanks to you, O Allah, for making manifest our enemy, the devil, and help us, O Allah, to die the death of a Muslim. Dear family, I don't want to die unless I die as a believer, as a Muslim, as a righteous human being. And I pray that all of us will strive to be that kind of person. Eliminate fear from your life, dear family, and let's come together, go forward together, where Allah will bless us to be absolutely successful.
That's
go
right.
ahead,
And
Sister
just
Claudia.
one more from the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Minister Louis Farrakhan says, Live as long as you can, as well as you can, and be as peaceful in your life as you can. Make life beautiful for one another. That adds years to your life. Don't hold on to bitter things of the past. Give it up. Learn to forgive and get it up off you. And you will be younger as you get older. You will be wiser as you get older.
Could you read it one more time, please, Sister Claudia? It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Just
isn't it?
because again, the minister says that the number one thing that we need today is right guidance.
That's right.
And that's beautiful.
That sums up everything.
Guidance.
That's right.
Think about these words, dear family. Go ahead, sis.
Live as long as you can, as well as you can, and be as peaceful in your life as you can. Make life beautiful for one another. That adds years to your life. Don't hold on to bitter things of the past. Give it up. Learn to forgive and get it up off you, and you will be younger as you get older. You will be wiser as you get older.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. And don't forget, family, tune in wherever you are in the world. If you're in the UK, I believe it's 9 a.m. Go on to P.O.W.E.R and the Ramadan.
Is it reflecting?
Ramadan, the Ummah.
The Ummah, yes. Reflecting with the Ummah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can get that on P.O.W.E.R. The Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be speaking tomorrow. I believe it's 5 a.m. Eastern time in America.
Is it Eastern or Central time?
No, Eastern.
Eastern, okay.
Yeah, so
Eastern is East Coast. That's
yes.
like New York.
Yes.
And
Yes, the Ummah reflects.
the Ummah reflects.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can,
so they
get it on
that
P.O.W.E.R.
Pod-Beam.
Yeah, Bean.
Pod-Beam.
Yes.
Pod-Beam.
Yes.
Yeah, so try and tune in, dear family. The minister will be speaking. He'll have a message really
Absolutely.
ending Ramadan
That's right.
for us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
all.
dear family. Have a blessed rest of your evening, rest of your day. And thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Imagination Show. This has been Brother Leo and Sister Claudia. May the Creator continue to bless you and your family members as I greet you in peace as I found you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam and Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.